Welcome back to the Inside Sales by Design video blog. I really hope you enjoyed the first installment that we did. I wanted to share as well kind of some other information. You know, in putting out a video blog, I was really nervous, just to be very transparent with everybody. And I think if we're going to do something like this, if anybody's going to do something like this, it's not something to be treated lightly. The other thing I wanted to share is you're going to notice that I'm actually I'm in a hotel room right now. I am in Chicago, about to start work with a client. And part of what I want to share with these video blogs, you're going to see a bunch of different backgrounds. I'm not doing them in a studio. I'm not going for the Hollywood backdrop, partially because everyday life is gritty. It's dirty, it's messy, and we as leaders on the front line, whether with our kids, our families, our relatives, our teams, our coworkers, our executives, you guys, life is messy, and I think we all need to get in and dig in and just surrender to that fact. And so some days we're going to have team members that come in and something terrible has happened. Some days we're going to have things that go great, right? But we need to be prepared as leaders that real life is messy. So that's why when I do these video blogs, you're going to see a bunch of different backgrounds and backdrops and probably some background noise, because I believe in delivering common sense, practical, day in the life feedback that people can actually use. If you want kind of the Hollywood backdrop, there's other stuff out there that you can definitely go forward and use that has just as great content. But just in case you're sitting there going, gosh, you know, why is this blog this way or that way? So wanted to kind of put it out there for everybody. And if this format isn't for you, by all means, you don't need to stay here. Again, there's a bunch of stuff out there. We live in a great time right now where access to information is pretty easy and straightforward. So thank you for those of you that enjoy this video blog. I really appreciate you coming along. Last time we talked about kind of becoming the master and mistress of our calendar and our time, because there's only so much of it, and when it's gone, it's gone. That's it. So we can't buy more of it. We can in a way, but we literally can't go back in time and call a mulligan. So when it's gone, it's gone. So to kind of go into our next phase, and the next piece we want to talk about is when we're going to tackle something new, we don't have oceans of time. If you do, great, but 9 times out of 10, if we're in a leadership capacity, our days for anywhere between 10 and 12 hours a day could potentially be triple booked. So when I talk with folks, or even when I would approach a project or something new, a new initiative, is to actually treat this new initiative like a project, whereby you literally compartmentalize the pieces of your project. So if we treat it kind of like a recipe for making a new dish, if you're following along from a cooking perspective, we can say, gosh, if I'm going to, for example, want to either create or edit my onboarding program, what would be my first step? My first step might be, I'm going to gather the list of things that I would need in order to create my onboarding program. This might take the form of starting an Excel sheet. This might take the form of putting something on a whiteboard. This might take something of writing down, just stream of consciousness, all of the things you would need maybe in OneNote, Evernote, Word document, whatever the case may be. Then your next step might be, you know what, at the end of the day, I want my onboarding program to look like X. And then we start working backwards from there that says, if I want it to be a 2-week program, and I know I'm going to need these pieces, how would I then marry the two at the end of the day that says, here's all of my key ingredients that make a successful onboarding program. And at the end of the day, it's a 2-week program, so it's going to look like X. So this is where you start slotting in, right? I've done onboarding programs for myself as a practitioner and for clients. And basically what you can do is you can just create a Word document, or you can put it in Excel, and chunk out time slots, and then take your list of ingredients that would go into your onboarding program and start slotting them in, right? So again, I will forward over as part of this video blog, you'll have a link to content that you can definitely use. But when we think about tackling some new initiatives, new projects, things of that nature, guys, gals, we do not have oceans of time. I don't have 4 hours of uninterrupted time. That's ridiculous. If I did, I could absolutely finish this. But the reality is we don't. So how do we tackle these things like an onboarding program, like ongoing training, like introducing social selling and a digital sales strategy into our organization? You guys, these aren't one and done things. These are initiatives and projects that will absolutely take time. And if we're going to do them, we should do them the right way the first time and at least have a really good infrastructure that we can work with moving forward. So I encourage you, as you're going to tackle some of these, whether it's an onboarding program, training, your ongoing coaching, whatever the case may be, your reporting, right? Retackling your dashboards, that you approach it like a project, break it out into stages, have your end goal in mind, and basically step through the process. And by the way, you might want to pad some time in there, because again, you might say, oh, on Monday I'm going to do X, but then some fire drill erupts. So again, let's be realistic with the demands placed on our time, also knowing that as leaders, these are the things that we must get done in order to be successful. So I encourage you today, if there's been something in the back of your head that you're like, gosh, I have to get this done, sit down, take 15 minutes, take a piece of paper, take a Word document, Excel sheet, whatever medium you're comfortable with, and start compartmentalizing what that project looks like. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I would recommend keeping it at 3 steps in order to get that done. So go forth and conquer with that. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to send me some notes. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Twitter. You can send me an email. I'd love to hear how you're going about tackling some of your projects. So go forth and conquer and have a great day. Thank you.